Hello and welcome to another video review. This is Dragon Age Origins Awakening for PC, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3. Now, I was pretty excited for Awakening when it was announced, but then I started hearing more and more from the players that it wasn't very good, that it had all sorts of bugs, and it didn't have much depth to it. So I started sitting there and looking at what was available to it, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should hold off on this. And so I did, and eventually I got it as a gift, and I finally got to play through it, and this is the result. Now, the graphics are exactly the same as they were in Dragon Age Origins, so I'm not going to go over those. But what did change a little bit was the sound design. That was the only change that really was notable was the voice acting, which is worse. The Dragon Age Origins voice acting was okay. For the main characters, it was pretty good. But for the people who actually return from Origins, because Awakening takes place after the end of Origins, but the people who return just sound lifeless. It's kind of awful, really. These characters that were so vibrant in Dragon Age Origins, that had such depth to them, suddenly just sound flat and bland. And it really just got on my nerves eventually, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, why are these characters here? They're kind of pointless. They're baggage. They're just there because you need some companions to balance out your party. But eventually it just got on my nerves. I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll just deal with it. But the voice acting took a hit, and that actually comes out mostly because of the writing, but also because of the voice actors' apparent disinterest in the game. Now, the core gameplay really didn't change much from Dragon Age Origins. The only thing they really did was add in a bunch of new stuff. So in addition to the expected new gear, they also added in a bunch of new skills and talents. One of the new things they added in was rune crafting, so you can now make your own runes for enchantment. They also added in heraldry for your shields, which means you can actually change the image on your shield, and it will give you a different attribute bonus depending on what image you choose. They also added in 6 new specializations. That's 2 per class. So that also means that you've got more ability to customize your character the way you want to now. The only difference is that the character development in Awakening is really kind of pathetic. You can either import your character from Dragon Age Origins, so you're the hero of Ferelden, you've slain the archdemon, that sort of thing, and people act accordingly to you. They hold you in such high esteem, you become the Grey Warden commander. Or you can make a new character, and that would become an Orlesian Grey Warden, and they start at level 18 with a bunch of new gear, and they also are interacted with differently than the Ferelden hero would. But they also become the Grey Warden commander, depending on what you choose. But anyway, they also decided that the level cap should be raised to 35, so you can now make a ridiculously powerful character by the end of the game. And the difficulty is according. It's actually a pretty difficult expansion pack compared to the original game. At least the difficulty scale is roughly equivalent to what it was in Dragon Age Origins. It's just that they have such higher level things now. For instance, they've actually added 2 tiers to the weapons now. Well, to the weapons and armor. So you actually have quite a bit of new gear available to you. But what they didn't do very well from Dragon Age Origins was the characters. Now, this goes hand in hand with the story, really, because let me start with the story, actually. The story picks up where Origins left off. The archdemon has been slain, the blight has supposedly ended, and you are the Grey Warden commander of Ferelden, and you need to rebuild the Order and figure out why the Darkspawn aren't going back underground, and why they're still attacking, and all that kind of stuff. So, that's basically what the story is. It's really badly written, which is really weird coming from BioWare. I'm very used to good writing when it comes to BioWare, but it seems like for their expansions, they really just lower the bar for their writing. I don't know what it is, but the writing in Awakening is pretty bad. It's not terrible. It's not the worst I've ever seen in a role-playing game, but it's pretty weak. The characters just are very one-dimensional, and this is where that comes in. They're one-dimensional, they're bland, they're generic, they have no depth to them. Even the characters that return from Origins just make cameos, or if they're Oghren, which is the only companion you had in the original game that actually returns as a companion, he doesn't talk much. At least he doesn't talk to you much, he just makes a bunch of random comments here and there. And so you end up having very little character depth. There's no romance options available in Awakening. So you really don't have the opportunity to make these connections that you would in Origins. Like, the characters in Origins were really well developed. They had great backstories, they were interesting, you really wanted to get to know them better. But in Awakening, they just feel like peons to fill your party up with different classes, and that's exactly what they are. It's really pathetic. I'm horribly surprised they did that. But anyway, in addition to the crappy story and the wimpy characters, the game still relies too much on combat. There's way too much of it. They also have a major problem with bugs in this game, and just general bad design choices. It's not a terrible expansion pack by any means, but at the same time, they make some really boneheaded decisions, like the inevitable prison sequence that's in every single RPG I can think of off the top of my head, where suddenly you lose all your gear and you're stuck in this dungeon and you have to escape and you have to fight your way out and get your gear back. I hate that. But the problem with Awakening is that there's a bunch of bugs, and one of the major bugs that they never fixed is that you can lose your gear permanently. And that's in that particular sequence where you're doing the prison sequence. You can lose your gear permanently, and it's really just a matter of luck, because it's been triggered from specific equipment, it's been triggered from not specific equipment, it's been triggered from pretty much no reason whatsoever. It's completely random, you're completely at the mercy of the game, and the game crashes a lot. Now, Origins crashed occasionally, but Awakening crashes a lot. And it's got performance problems, got a bunch of glitches all over the place. It's really a pathetic excuse. And I really don't know how they managed to pull this out. It's really a pretty crappy expansion pack overall. The new stuff they added in works fine. It's just that when you play this expansion pack, it really does not feel like Dragon Age Origins at all. It just feels like this DLC that was just kind of thrown quickly together for a quick buck, and that's pretty much what it is. Sadly. Now, I'm hoping Dragon Age 2 remedies that problem, because they seem to do this thing with expansions all the time with BioWare. Because, for instance, Neverwinter Nights expansion pack, Shadows of Undrentide, was pretty pathetic too. But Hordes of the Underdark fixed that, and then Neverwinter Nights 2 was a different company. But anyway, if you're gonna play Dragon Age Origins, really just don't bother with Awakening. It's not worth it. It's not very fun. It's just this kind of hashy add-on that really doesn't do much for the game. It's just there. It adds more time to the game. That's about it. I mean, you can like the new gear, and that's about it, but it's really just not that fun. So, sadly, I can't recommend Awakening. It's a 2.5 out of 5, and thanks for watching.